What is going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be previewing the 2025 college football schedule for Georgia Tech. I'm going to go through every single game on the schedule and predict their record for 2025. Now, just to let you guys know, this is my sleeper ACC team. I think they are highly underrated. The last two seasons, Brent Key has overexceeded expectations with this Georgia Tech team. They've had two winning seasons, and they did that with a tough schedule, and a lot of people were expecting great things with this team. But Brent Key is doing a good job with the coaching staff and a very good job with recruiting and using the portal as well. And I really like this team next season because they are nearly top of the ACC in return in production. And I think they have one of the best 1-2 at quarterback and running back. I think they return a top 10 quarterback in Haynes King and also a top 10 running back in Jamal Haynes. And not only that, they have one of the best offensive lines in the ACC. They are very experienced there, and they returned their offensive lineman from last season. One hit that this team did take in the offseason was losing the best receiver to the portal in Eric Singleton Jr. He's one of the best receivers in the portal. He was the number one receiver in the portal. But I do think they made up for that loss. They got a 1,000-yard receiver in Eric Rivers and also a solid receiver from the group of five in Dean Patterson. They managed to maintain Malik Rutherford, one of their top receivers from last season, and Isaiah Canyon is a potential breakout wide receiver. This offense should be very explosive, and defensively they took a big step forward last season. And I like what they have returning with Kyler Efford in the linebacker core, and they add some big pieces up front like AJ Hoffler and Matthew Alexander. They have an experienced defense. All of them are juniors and seniors, and they have 8 projected senior starters on defense. I think this team is balanced from top to bottom. They aren't super talented, but this is one of the most experienced teams in the country. And more importantly, they got the quarterback and running back position set. And that is always a big bonus for a team. They're good at the line of scrimmage, and I think that's going to help them out in the ACC. And of course, they have an easy schedule this season. That's going to definitely help them out. And without further ado, let's get into predicting their schedule. They open the season with a very intriguing non-conference matchup. They go on the road to play a Colorado team that won 9 football games last season and had a Heisman winner in Travis Hunter. But they do lose that Heisman winner, and they do lose one of the best players in the country in Shedeur Sanders. And it's not even just them. They lost a ton of their top receivers and some of their great leaders on defense. They are losing a lot of production, and it is certainly going to be a reload year. I still don't trust Deion Sanders fully. He did okay in the portal, but he definitely didn't have the same success as previous seasons. And honestly, I'm expecting a big step back from Colorado. I like Caden Salter at quarterback, but I think he's a massive step back from Shedeur Sanders. And I don't know if he'll be a top 5 quarterback in the Big 12 or anything like that. I really like Georgia Tech at the line of scrimmage. I think they have the advantage at quarterback and at running back. That's going to really help them out. I can say it again. Haynes King and Jamal Haynes coming back for that offense is absolutely huge. Give me Georgia Tech to win in Week 1 at Colorado and move to 1-0. They will then play Gardner-Webb. This will be an easy FCS matchup for Georgia Tech. Gardner-Webb was a pretty bad football team last year. They weirdly enough had those close games against James Madison and Charlotte. Both of them were one-possession losses, but they only won 4 football games at the FCS level, and their offense was pretty bad. Regardless, Georgia Tech should be way better. Give me Georgia Tech to win this game and move to 2-0. The following week, though, they will get Clemson at home. If Georgia Tech wants to make a statement and shock the college football world, this is the place to do it. With a huge home matchup against Clemson, probably a top 5 football team. And I think Georgia Tech has what it takes to be competitive in this game. Look at what they did with Georgia last season. They beat Florida State to open the season. They've dealt with pressure before. I know Florida State was terrible, but I think Brent Key will have this team ready for the big stage. And I really like Georgia Tech next season, but I also very much like Clemson. They have Kay Klubnik back and arguably the best receiver core in the nation, at least the deepest. TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, Antonio Williams, Tristan Smith, Tyler Brown. They are very good though, and the defense is going to be good. I think Clemson has what it takes to get this one on the road. Give me Georgia Tech to lose it and move to 2-1. Georgia Tech will then get Temple at home. This should be an easy win. But Temple is a team that could surprise some people next season and maybe make a bowl game. Casey Killer is one of the best head coaches at the Group of 5 level. He will be a first-year head coach coming over from Sam Houston with a ton of experience and a good track record. And he's bringing over a good running back from Sam Houston. So Temple's a team to watch out for. Regardless, give me Georgia Tech to win this game easily and move to 3-1. They then get another easy win. I know they're playing at Wake Forest, but I'm really not expecting anything from Wake Forest. They have done nothing to prove that they will take a step forward, and they have to rely on a bunch of new faces. I will say one upset they have is having Damon Claiborne back, but they have not showed any growth or improvement over the last couple of seasons. I just don't like the roster. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the ACC again. Give me Georgia Tech to win this game and move to 4-1. Georgia Tech just has so many favorable games. They get Virginia Tech at home off of a bye week. If this was on the road, it could be a tricky matchup. Virginia Tech is never an easy place to play. But like I said, I'm really liking this Georgia Tech roster. I think they're going to be built at the line of scrimmage. I don't expect Virginia Tech to be this very good football team. They have some questions and they underperformed last season. They also lost some of their top playmakers at wide receiver and a very good running back. They got Kyron Jones back, so they have an upside there. But overall, I think they have question marks. I think they'll be kind of a similar team to last season. Give me Georgia Tech. I like them in this game to move to 5-1. Now, playing at Duke could be a tricky game, especially because Duke has a quarterback in Darian Mensah who is a baller. But Georgia Tech did handle Duke pretty well last season. They were able to get the win. Duke is losing some good production. They have some question marks. They're just not that talented. And again, when I look at the rosters, I think Georgia Tech is just in a much better place. The quarterbacks can be comparable, but I'm taking Haynes King's experience. He is going to be a very good quarterback next season. He played really good in the back half of last season. If he stays healthy, he will easily be a top 10 quarterback. I like Georgia Tech. I like their coaching staff. I like everything about this team. Give me Georgia Tech to win this game and move to 6-1. They will then play Syracuse at home. And if this was last season, it would have been a good matchup, but Syracuse is probably going to take a big step back. They are near the bottom of the country in return in production. But it's not just who they lost to the NFL. They lost some of their top receivers to the portal, most importantly Trevor Penna. Kyle McCord is gone. Their top running back is gone. Their very good tight end is gone. They have to completely reload. I like Fran Brown. He's acquired some good talent, but it's going to take some time with this team, and I don't see them carrying over the momentum from last season because they had a huge turnover. Georgia Tech has this game at home. I trust them to get this win, and I have them moving to 7-1. Georgia Tech could legitimately be a favorite in all of these games, at least outside of the game against Clemson, but they do play NC State on the road. This could be a tricky matchup like the Duke game on the road. I do think NC State has potential to take a step forward. They got their young quarterback in CJ Bailey coming back. They got a young running back in Hollywood Smothers. They have some young talent coming up. And their head coach has been a winner and really turned this program into a solid team. Last year they underperformed, and they do lose Casey Concepcion. That's going to hurt them. I think NC State is solid, but I think Georgia Tech is very legit. I think they will continue their winning streak beating NC State, and I have them moving to 8-1. They will then go on the road to play Boston College. Boston College lost their quarterback in Thomas Castellanos. They don't have a great defense and they have some question marks. They did make a bowl game last season, but they weren't that good. This is a game where I'm easily taking the Georgia Tech quarterback and the line of scrimmage play. I think it's really going to lead them to do very good things in the ACC. This is going to be another game where Georgia Tech is the favorite, and they have it off of a bye week. It could be a tricky road game, but I trust them to get this win and move to 9-1. Georgia Tech will then get Pitt at home. Pitt is a team that I am expecting to bounce back from the terrible end of last season. I think it was just an absolute collapse, even with the coaching staff. But they have time to recoup, and the pieces are certainly there. They got a good receiving core with Raphael Williams Jr., Kenny Johnson, and Sincere Lee. They got a good quarterback and a running back just like Georgia Tech. Pitt's got Eli Holsting back. He had a good season last year. He broke out. And they got Desmond Reed back as well, one of the better running backs in the ACC. This team is in the upper ACC of return in production. I think they will make a bowl game again and they will bounce back. But Georgia Tech has this game at home. I think they will continue their momentum. And yes, I have them moving to 10-1. And that would help them achieve a double-digit win season. They will get Georgia to end the season in a neutral site game. I believe it's in Atlanta, Georgia. And this game could certainly have eyes on it and playoff implications. possibly a top 15, top 10 matchup, especially with Georgia Tech being 10-1 with their only loss coming to Clemson. And I think Georgia Tech could be competitive once again. They took them into a lot of overtimes last season, and they very well could have won that game. I do think Georgia is going to have one of the more improved receiving cores in the country, with Zachariah Branch and also Noah Thomas coming in. Two very good receivers who could be All-Americans, and they returned their top receivers from last season and Oscar Delp. They have a good line of scrimmage, and the defense is always good. I think Kirby Smart has a chip on his shoulders. This team will absolutely be in the playoffs, and I think they'll make a deeper run in the playoffs. I like this Georgia team next season. I think they are being underrated, and I think Georgia Tech will finally lose a game. I think the easy schedule catches up to them. So give me Georgia Tech to lose this game and move to 10-2 on the season. But anyways, that is my prediction for Georgia Tech. I have them going 10-2, and maybe that makes this team a sneaky playoff contender. Of course, with their only two losses being to Clemson and Georgia. But like I said, I'll say it again, I like everything about this Georgia Tech team. I think they are built from top to bottom. I don't think they're going to be like super talented, but I think the pieces are there. I'm kind of thinking about like an Indiana type of season. I think Georgia Tech's going to surprise some people next season. Don't be surprised if they're able to win one of those big games against Georgia or Clemson. But anyways, you guys leave your prediction down in the comments below for Georgia Tech football. Now let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing and also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.